Welcome back to the Broto Fantasy Football Podcast presented by BrotoFantasy.com. I'm your host, Tim Petrop, with my brothers, the only two twins that give you double that fantasy goodness, Michael and Jason Petrop. I'm out of bird sounds, guys. I've done way too many bird sounds. I didn't realize how many birds are in the NFL until I started making bird sounds.
Why don't you just ask me?
Start calling you Bird, man.
No, terrible. We're back on the summer heat wave with the Arizona Cardinals. These guys have much better opinions on fantasy football than they do bird sounds. Gross. That was really bad. Let's get started right away with the offensive outlook. The big story of the offseason, Cliff Kingsbury brings his air raid system to Arizona.
Let's hope they don't fall off a cliff. Am I right?
I will say this. It's become, in the fantasy community right now, standard to say, well, since Cliff Kingsbury is coming in, we can expect this, and this is why I like to draft this person. I think that's a giant mistake. You cannot be certain about a guy who was not even over 500 as a coach in college coming in here and implementing a system that has proven to not work over time in the NFL, and expect him to implement a system with a rookie quarterback that's 5'10" and expect that to happen.
Remember when Chip Kelly came and everyone was like, ooh, Chip Kelly offense? Yeah. Jordan Matthews was drafted in third round, did not live up to it. The running backs all shared work. Now,
am I saying that it can't happen? Of course not. But when every single fantasy analyst is like, since Cliff Kingsbury, then that's not the way you go about these things. So let's try our best to figure it out. Kyler Murray at quarterback, ridiculously high draft price. None of us are going to be owning him. But with that being said, what do you say?
I don't care what Kingsbury's offense looks like. It's probably going to be air raid. They're going to pass a lot. First of all, that's not always a good thing.
Yeah, especially with a young quarterback.
You look at the McVay offense, they run a lot. Murray goes out there, young quarterback, throws a couple incomplete passes, gets sacked, doesn't pass any time on the clock. Well, if he gets sacked, it does. And then the other team could do whatever they want, run the ball down their throats. Not always the best thing to pass, although I do support passing over running. The thing I'm saying here is that people are drafting Murray for his rushing upside. When 9 quarterbacks had over 300 rushing yards last season, and 5 quarterbacks had over 420. Rushing quarterbacks aren't unicorns anymore. You get them in Mitch Trubisky, Dak Prescott. They don't need to be Josh Allen to be a running quarterback. So sure, Kyler Murray, and that was also with Russell Wilson having a down year on the ground. So
and
if you look at Kyler Murray.
And Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, all those guys usually rack up some yardage too. Sure, let's say he gets 500 rushing yards. That'll be better than 5 quarterbacks. Is he going to pass well enough to pass them? Is he going to score rushing touchdowns from less than 15 yards away? Because he's small, he'll outrun people. But is he going to get the ball into the end zone when he's 3 yards away, running into giant dudes? We don't know that yet.
I've seen him drafted in the 7th round. That's absolutely ridiculous. If you're doing that, get out of here.
It's hilarious.
There's no way I'm taking him as my league.
It's crazy.
I got it when he was quarterback 16, right? Take the shot on the rookie. It's fun.
Yes.
But he's being drafted like the 7th quarterback? No.
Look, I understand the appeal about Kyler Murray. I'm a big Kyler Murray fan as a player. It's just fantasy-wise. We don't hate the player. We hate the ADP. Where he's going makes absolutely no sense. He was the highest-rated PFF quarterback in college last season, 11.5 yards per attempt, which is absolutely elite when it comes to that statistic. But look, he has to learn a new offense. I understand that it's a college-like air raid offense with 4 wide receivers split out pretty often and all that. Rookie season, Russell Wilson passed for 3,100 yards, 26 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Ran for 489 yards and 4 touchdowns. If Kyler Murray does that, and you're a Cardinals fan, you're absolutely ecstatic.
Yep.
That's a great rookie season. Russell Wilson was QB 11 that year. Kyler Murray has to at least match those stats, and those are not easy stats to match.
No.
He's the shortest QB we've seen basically ever. I don't look into height a lot, but he's literally he's like 5'10". We don't know how that's going to affect. We don't know what he's going to get from his receivers. Christian Kirk, yes, he looked good last season. It's his 2nd year. Larry Fitzgerald, this is his last season. Andy Isabella, Hakeem Butler, Keyshawn Johnson. They're all rookies.
We'll get to the wide receivers in a second.
I'm just saying his weapons are questionable too.
Yeah.
I just want to talk to the people real quick, because if there's nothing you remember from me, remember this. The biggest myth in the NFL right now is that the NFL is becoming a pass-centric league. That could not be further from the truth. The running game is more important than it's ever been. 9
I don't know about that.
out of the top 10 teams in rushing attempts in the NFL last year made the playoffs. Teams are hiring coaches who are running-centric. Look,
You also
the
run a
running
lot
game,
when you're winning a lot.
Yes.
it's controlling the clock. That it's
Or you're just
same
running when
shit.
you're winning.
You're up.
And why are you running when
touchdowns.
you're winning? Because you're controlling the clock. Like I said, it is the biggest myth that there is. And assuming that an air raid system from a rookie head coach is going to be successful right off the bat is irresponsible. And you can't assume it. Can it happen? Yes. Don't run with the assumption. David Johnson, for the running back outlook, he's going as one of the top 5 backs. When you look at what he did last year, it's hard to imagine it getting any worse, and he was still a RB1. Gotta love David Johnson's talent.
That's why he's being drafted there. The upside is he could be RB1. The downside's there, though. PFF had David Johnson ranked as a bad running back last year.
It's true.
I mean, he had a lot
I
to
know
deal with.
with the team and all that. But his elusiveness wasn't there. He wasn't.
I mean,
breaking
Saquon
many
Barkley was
tackles.
on a trash team.
Yeah.
He was highly graded.
He had a much better offensive line.
That's what I'm saying. The offensive line is still awful.
Still awful, yes.
We don't know anything about the Kingsbury offense. Last season, DJ saw 76 targets. Kingsbury in college, his running backs usually see around 14% of the team's targets.
That's good news.
That's good news. DJ will probably see a decent amount of targets this year. The air raid offense here's the big thing. If they're really gonna do this air raid 4 wide receiver sets, the defense got to spread out, and DJ will have some more lanes.
I think that if there's one thing you could assume is that David Johnson has a better year this year, because I think, although I'm telling you not to assume that Cliff Kingsbury was the savior, it is fair to assume that he's not going to be as bad as a Steve Wilkes run up the middle the most of any team in the league type of team.
Yeah.
So I think if you're going to bank on one guy being better because of Cliff Kingsbury, David Johnson's the guy, although it's not a guarantee. It is definitely not a guarantee. And I don't want David Johnson this year. This is coming from a guy that drafted David Johnson in the first round last year, that won a championship with David Johnson 2 years ago, where he was just the love of my life. I have a T-shirt with his name on it because of that sweater. I mean, I love this guy, and I'm trying to get the other guys above him. Not to mention that Chase Edmonds took mad carries from him for no reason last year.
Not mad carries, but
Mad carries,
not mad carries.
mad
amount.
touchdowns, mad touchdowns too.
No, what are you talking about?
He had 2 touchdowns. Too many touchdowns. All right. Let's go to wide receiver. Larry Fitzgerald, Christian Kirk, Andy Isabella, Hakeem Butler. These even Keyshawn Johnson, 6th-round rookie. Kevin White, the one and only.
Talking about Kevin White right now.
Who are these guys? Who stands out to you? I think Christian Kirk is someone that we all like for his potential, but not necessarily. In his 6th-round ADP, I'm not taking Christian Kirk. I'd rather have a guy like Dante Pettis. If you're going,
I prefer
in that
Pettis
situation.
Kirk, but similar to Pettis, Christian Kirk, he's probably penciled in as a number 1 for the team. 2nd year, expecting a breakout, especially in this new offense. Kirk last season, in his 7 of his last 8 games, had at least 3 receptions and at least 40 yards in all those games. Not blowing you away, but consistently solid for a rookie wide receiver. The thing that scares me about Christian Kirk is that this Kingsbury air raid offense, right? It's supposed to be the next big thing. Split out 4 wide receivers. They got Ricky Heels Bones, Ricky Seals Jones in the middle as well. How many targets are you expecting Christian Kirk to see every game? Charles Clay as well.
I mean, we see McVay with 3 wide receivers out every time, and they all get a shitload of targets. I don't think that's that much of a concern. I like the 4 receiver sets because you can have a slot receiver on both sides. People talk about, why do they have Kirk and Fitz? Kirk was a good slot receiver. Why'd they draft Andy Isabella? He's a good slot receiver. Also, people always want to put guys in bubbles. They could run different routes. They're NFL players. They're big boys. So if you look at what's going on, they're probably going to be a decent amount of targets to go around, especially if the team is trailing a lot, which they might be. Kingsbury doesn't have a big winning
Track record
behind him. So I think Kirk is a decent wide receiver 3. Fitz I like more in PPR because his yak abilities are just gone. He's an old man now. He's going to catch it. And
Yeah, he's going to
that's
retire
about
to
it.
Yakima.
He's going to have to catch it in the end zone to score, most likely. If I'm looking at the young guys, I'm not necessarily trusting either of any of them. They'll be on the field a little bit, but how many targets are they really going to see? I'm going to go Isabella of the bunch if I had to choose one.
Really?
Yeah, Isabella's very fast. He's a good route runner. I think Hakeem Butler's very raw at the moment.
Both of them are rookies.
I like Butler's
I love me some Andy
potential.
Isabella.
Keyshawn Johnson has good reports.
hope the answer is Kevin White. I'm rooting for that guy.
Oh, man.
I hope
Yeah,
so.
he's on the outside looking in.
He would give them something that they don't have, though. A big receiver. Big outside guy.
Yeah, they also the lack of talent also.
I mean, I don't think talent's been the thing that has stopped Kevin White from succeeding. I think it's been injuries. And you saw that last year. When he had his chance to shine last year, he shined.
What are you talking about, man?
When he was on the field, he did well.
He shined?
Yes. He got like 5 targets.
You blow my mind
need a
sometimes,
dictionary?
Tim.
Yo,
See what
guys,
shine
I want you to go back. I want you guys to remember something.
Talking about the shining?
I watched every single Mitch Trubisky throw. So I saw all the throws that went to Kevin White. And when Kevin White got the ball thrown to him, he made good plays on the ball.
He shined.
Yes, he shined. That's
Razor
what shining
shine.
is.
All right, in 3 games, he went 4 for 92.
There you go. 4 catches. Like I said, 5 catches. But when he had the opportunities,
shined.
they were hard catches. Charles Clay.
Clay,
Ricky Seals-Jones.
Bones.
Let's skip the tight end.
Yep.
1 injury away. Who's the 1 injury around this
Wow,
squad?
Kevin White's 27.
I'm going with
He was drafted old.
Anderson Isabella. Anderson's probably not his real name.
Andy.
I'm going Andy Isabella too.
Duh.
I like him as a flyer at the end of your draft, and he's ridiculously fast. He's a solid
Man's a
receiver.
burner.
Yeah.
I'm going Chase Edmonds. I think if David Johnson gets hurt, Chase Edmonds, he got 2 touchdowns last year. 2 touchdowns.
My mind is blown that Kevin White's 27 years old.
What'd you expect him to be?
Like 25?
He's
Tops?
He was drafted a few
When
years
you
ago.
get drafted as a senior out of college, you're
He
23.
was also drafted a few years ago. It's not like it was
he's
a
like
year ago.
5 years in.
I don't know.
Michael, blow
27
people's
though.
mind with your Twitter.
Mike _ Petrop.
Jason?
Jason Petrop.
At Tim Petrop on all social media outlets, but only if you're feeling real frisky. For a bunch of extras, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Broto Fantasy. Follow us on Twitter. We are going to tweet every single touchdown that goes down during the regular season. We're also going to give you up-to-the-minute fantasy advice. At Broto Fantasy again on Twitter and Instagram.
That's right.
Also, BrotoFantasy.com for everything you need. Go check that out for true throw and true target value. This gives what do you call it? Like a quantitative. Like it puts a number on what it quantifies what a target is worth. Whether that target gets caught or not, what is that target worth from the quarterback and from the receiver catching it? It is one of the easiest ways to make a start-sit decision ever. And it's only available on BrotoFantasy.com. So go check that out. And until tomorrow, see ya.
Later.